We financed the company actually through our medical programs. We were making some money as doctors, and we would work on weekends. I did emergency medicine. Greg did some. I did some family medicine as well. Greg did some emergency medicine and geriatric medicine, family med, and we got bank financing as doctors, and basically put everything we made back in the company, and didn't pay ourselves a salary for the first 5 years, and that result was built something really great with the help of the people here. It's just three employees to start out with Bioware. And we grew from there to about 10 people or so working with Shattered Steel. I think we peaked at around 60 or so when we released Baldur's Gate in 1998, and continued to grow ever since then. One interesting fact about Bioware is that until we released Baldur's Gate, I think no one at Bioware, there were about 60 people at that point, had ever worked on a video game before. So we had people from all kinds of diverse industries, and we had a guy that was carving ducks that turned on a computer for the first time at Bioware and learned how to do 3D modeling, and we had people that were painters that became amazing artists, digital artists, and we had programmers from database companies, and on and on. We had writers that were doing, one of our senior writers was actually running a comic book store, one of the first writers we hired, and became our director of design. He's now a career down in Austin. And on and on, there's all these amazing people. They come from interesting backgrounds. In the end, it's about their passion, and it's about their intelligence and the way what they bring to the job in that respect. We incorporated Bioware in 1995, and we started out with just a few people, and we're actually working out of Greg's basement at that point, and then we rapidly moved from there to another location and ramped up quite a bit. So it has 6-foot ceilings, and I actually knocked myself out one time on the ceiling. I just kind of bumped my head because I'm 6'5", so it doesn't, not a good mix, 6-foot ceiling and 6'5" tall guy. But so that we were there just for a short period. We moved to another space, which I think we had about 20 computers plugged in a breaker that was really meant for 4 or 5. So we had continual outages of power in that space, our first space. And then we moved to an area that was in a trendy part of town near the university, and that was pretty good until we outgrew it. And now we're in a larger space, and built it out and customized it for everybody here, and it's really good. And for Bioware Austin, we've actually been in a couple locations now so far. We were in a temporary space for the first setup, first startup period for about a year or so. We just recently moved into a really nice space. The guys down there did a great job setting it up, and it's modeled on the Bioware Edmonton space. So it's eerily similar when you go down to Bioware Austin, Bioware Edmonton, and you compare the two. And I think that we have great people at Bioware Austin, great people at Bioware Edmonton, and the cultures are quite similar. So it makes sense that the spaces are similar too. Anytime you're starting a new studio up or a new company up, it's stressful. There's exhilaration, there's joy, there's pride in the work that your team is building, and everything in between. But I think it was worth it. I wouldn't do anything else. I like medicine, but I love video games. I love the people we work with here, and I love the games we're working on, like Mass Effect, for example.
Yeah, I think there's always that amazing experience of finally seeing your game on the shelf like that. That's probably the most exhilarating thing. 'Cause it really is a lot of work to get it done, and we had, I think Shattered Steel was one of those things that, boy, we poured a lot of passion into that, and it got out. It was a pretty good game. I mean, it was back in the day. It would have been '96, I think we released October. And we're very proud of it, and we look back and go, wow, it's been a long time because we've released a whole bunch of games since, but every single one of them is, it's when you go to the store, I think we always even still kind of look, okay, is this one here? Oh no, is this one here? It's always nice to see the stuff on the shelves, and more so when people come up and try and buy it, we say, hey, that's a really good game, you should buy that. So,
we'll do a like placement movement, put the games in front of them.
Yeah, get rid of the competitors, throw them under the thing.
I don't do that. No.
I think you do too.
I don't.
I think one of the interesting things about being in Edmonton, it was our home. So I mean, we never really sort of had any thoughts of starting anywhere else. Like, it's a perfect place for it. And the reason it is a perfect place for it, there's a couple really big things. One is great infrastructure. There's awesome schools here. It's Art College in Edmonton, and Calgary, and Vancouver. People we can draw from anywhere. Universities here are also extremely good. We actually get a lot of folks from university. Many of the people, other good tech companies. It's sort of a positive culture and very entrepreneurial. I think one of the things about Alberta and Edmonton is it's turned into a very entrepreneurial culture. We've been able to see that growth since we started. The other thing is just, it's a great family city. As game developers, we're all getting a little bit older now too. We've got some young folks, but we've got a lot of people with families. It's a wonderful place for families and for kids to go to school and grow up and all that sort of thing. So it's kind of got a nice balance of work, lifestyle, play, and it's grown very well now. We have tons of people here, over 300 people here at the Edmonton studio, and very proud of all of them, the great work they do.
Bioware's been a really exciting place to stay at for this long period of time. Gone through a tremendous amount of growth. When I first came here in 1997, we were about maybe 40, 50 people working on a PC title, our first role-playing game called Baldur's Gate, and everything was really, really small and really everyone had to put in like 110% just to get everything done. It was really, really exciting. And since we've grown, taken on more and more ambitious projects. We've maintained that energy the whole way through, and it's really exciting to see. And now I'm on a team where I've got 40 programmers, just programmers in the first place. Peak team size is something like 120, I think, when you take all the content creators into it. And just seeing all that creative energy come in is just fabulous to watch. I would actually say that with all of the changes that Bioware has gone through, just growing from 40 to 50 people up to 300 people, it's the essentials have not changed at all. Like, we've always been a very dynamic company, trying to roll with the problems as we encounter them. And a lot of our problems are now communication-based. We've got usually 3 simultaneous projects going on. We're trying to make sure that everyone's got all the resources they need, and everyone's got focused vision that the rest of the company can see. And we're sharing ideas about how can we make this thing better or that thing better. That part actually hasn't gone away. The challenge has been, how do you do that with 300 people? So I think that's, in terms of the essentials, I don't think the company's changed at all since I joined it, which is why I'm actually still here. I always loved the atmosphere that we've had at this company for that.
I love working at Bioware because they gave me the start in the business. I got to work on Star Wars with LucasArts, was a dream come true, and finally my nephews don't know me as the unemployed artist. Now I'm the guy that makes awesome video games. Bioware is pretty hard on buildings. I mean, the old office I was at, we trashed that one pretty good. I mean, every ceiling tile had a brown stain on it, a lot of leaking waters. Actually, one of the guys was working pretty late, Arun, and he was working on one of the levels on KOTOR, and the janitor came in and he said, there seems to be some water leaking in one of the rooms. So Arun went in there and there was water pouring out through the ceiling, ended up flooding part of the floors, ruining a few computers, but luckily those 2 guys were there, or we would have lost a tremendous amount of equipment on that. But yeah, we beat these places up. With so many guys in here and they're rough on stuff, it's, the last building we cut 2 holes in the floor to put staircases in to the next floor, and it's just, we beat those places up. I don't know if you want to play that ring, Greg might, but what the hell is... You don't say it!
Yeah, the culture at Bioware is something we take a lot of pride in that, and we focus on that a lot. And it's really the foundation of how we're able to continually make great games. First part of that culture is the people. We have amazing people at Bioware, and it's an honor for me to work with them. They're passionate, they're smart, they're creative, they're hardworking, and every day is a pleasure because of that. And I think our culture is founded around our core values of quality in our products, quality in our workplace in a context of humility and integrity. And quality in products is about making each game better than the last. The quality in the workplace is about making a place where people feel respected, treated as professionals. It's a great place to work. People work hard, they play hard. Humility, about being self-critical, self-aware of the things we build, both of the products and the workplace. Those are the things that endure as Bioware changes. Everything changes at Bioware, but one thing stays the same. That's our culture, our core values, and that's very important to us.
Really what we've tried to focus on is always reorganizing and trying to find better ways to communicate and build bridges within the teams and between the teams. We use currently all kinds of tactics, things like agile development, which cause you get teams into smaller units that work together and work on specific goals. There's a lot of things that we do, but at the end of the day, again, communication, making sure there's really good clarity, making sure people feel and know what they're supposed to be doing, that they're part of something big and important, is the key. And I think the great thing about Mass Effect is a real clear understanding that it has. It's going to be a special game, and there's only a few of those made per year, only a few per decade ultimately.
So as Bioware's grown larger, we have about 5 teams here in Edmonton and 1 team in Austin. We've really found it's critical to empower the team leadership to make great games. And it's all part of being entrepreneurial even as you scale and as you get bigger. And because we have great leads, we have great management on our teams, that's feasible. And we think it's incredibly important to allow them to pursue their passion and to make something that's an amazing experience.
Working with Ray and Greg is really good. I mean, they play an amazing amount of games. They're very interested in the product. They'll play it. They'll make constructive criticism of it. They'll enter bugs. They're passionate about the product for sure. Greg walks around the company a lot, likes to talk to you about what you're doing, what games he plays. He talks to